Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Beauty School Bobbi podcast. I am here today with somebody coming fresh off the red carpet of the Met Gala, Monae Everett. I am so excited to have you with us today. Thank you so much for being here.
Bobbi, where else would I be? Thank you so much for having me.
So we actually just met recently at America's Beauty Show. So you were presenting at the Global Image Awards. You have such an amazing, contagious energy about you. And as you came off the stage with Jack, I was like, who is that? I could not wait to talk to you. So I'm so excited that we're getting to connect again. But I know it's only been a few weeks. Talk to me a little bit about how you've been feeling since America's Beauty Show.
Oh, I love meeting you too. I was like, who is this Firebird? I have to talk to her. And when we went on the red carpet, I was like, oh no, we have to talk more. I got to come on your show. ABS was awesome. It was awesome being there under my own umbrella with my own classes from the Monae Life Academy. But majority of my work is spent celebrity hairstyling. That's like my main gig. So I am on 2 tours right now, one with my client, Haley Kilgore. She's an actress, so I travel with her, an actress and a singer. I travel with her at different events, whether she's there as an actress or she's tearing the house down singing. I'm responsible for her hair looks and my beauty show tour. And then I did the Met Gala. I had a client for that for the first time in my 20-some year career. So it's been a whirlwind in this past few weeks.
So you're doing so much, and I kind of want to break it up into pieces so that we really get to hear exactly what you're doing with each and everything. But if we start with the Met Gala, was that a bucket list thing for you? Is this something that's even interests you? Because I like seeing the dresses, but I'm not in that. I'm not going to the Met Gala, So I don't know. I like the fashion and stuff, but has this been something that you've wanted to do?
Absolutely. So I'm from New York, but I grew up in the DC area. And in the DC area, we thought we knew stuff about the beauty and fashion game. And when I moved to New York, I found out there's so much about beauty and fashion that I had never heard of, namely the Met Gala. I had never even heard of it, but I found out if you are a celebrity-based hair or makeup artist, you don't really have a lot of stripes until you have the Met Gala on your list. And surprisingly, I had been booked to do the Met Gala twice before, 2 male grooming clients, and both of them stood me up.
Oh my gosh.
They just decided not to come and get groomed. And I was heartbroken because I had thought at that time, oh my God, I finally have a Met Gala client. I've made it. And that was far from true. So this year I started working with Malia Joy Moon, who is the leading lady in Hell's Kitchen on Broadway, Alicia Keys' play, and we hit it off. Things have been going really well, and she booked me to do her hair for the Met Gala and got top 10 hairstyles of the night. So I was beyond excited about that.
Gosh, congratulations. That's incredible. How is the pressure that day? Is it pretty high? How much planning went into all of this? Kind of talk to me about that.
Yes, it's a lot of pressure. They can only invite a few hundred people across every form of entertainment and sports. So scoring an invite is an amazing feat, but some of those invites come at the last moment. So I had about 5 days notice that she was going to the gala, but I was already scheduled because I'm on tour with Haley. I was already scheduled to be in Vegas. So I had about 36 hours before I got on the flight. One really big thing is that when you are with one client, you have to concentrate on that client. You cannot be with one client thinking about another. So even before I left, I had to do everything I possibly could to prepare for the Met Gala. And then I got off the flight from Vegas and went directly to style for the Met. No home, no sleep, no overnight preparation. I had to have everything packed to go. So I went from my home to Vegas to the gala to prep for the gala specifically. So that added a lot of extra pressure. And then my client was really awesome. Decided to add some extra ends. She cut off all her hair right before the gala.
No, oh my
So,
gosh.
I was like, God, clearly you have a plan. And he did. It worked out.
Wow, that's incredible. Well, your style looks so amazing. I can't believe you got named top 10. Like, that's unreal for your first time doing this. And just kudos to you. I think that the really important thing in this, and one of the things that I always like to show, because obviously it's really glamorous, right? Or everyone thinks it's super glamorous, right? To be, like that's a lot of people's goal. I mean, you say celebrity make or hairstylist, like that is what so many people like are trying to attain that goal, right? So to show this side of it of being like, I was here and I jetted off and then I no sleep, like nothing went into it. That's the side of things that I feel like not everybody considers. And I'm so grateful for your honesty in that, because I think that is the kind of the story that needs to be told. And not that it's like discouraging to anybody, but like it's honestly, to me, it's encouraging to know what you're getting yourself into before you're into that situation, so that you really are able to reach these goals, knowing that it's going to take this kind of dedication. And yeah, it's not like a cushy night's sleep for you and then you just wake up and there you go. It's very rarely going to happen like that. So I'm so thankful for your honesty. How is it being like judged in that way? I mean, I feel like the Met Gala, everyone is so critical. It puts a different spin on what you're doing as well, right?
It absolutely does. I think the bottom line is you can only do what you can do. You can only do what your understanding of the look is. You're working cohesively as a team. And I have this ongoing joke that when you're on set, there's one makeup artist, there's one wardrobe stylist, there's one photographer, but everybody is the hairstylist. Everybody has an opinion of the hair, or they're touching and pulling and arranging the hair. And that can be really off-putting. However, you have to trust that if they are there, their vision may be better than yours. Their vision may be something to follow. And it's tough. It really is tough following so many people, but they're at the top of their game. And I understand the hierarchy backstage. So it can be tough, but you cannot control the way your look is judged. The same look, yes, Glamour magazine voted it top 10 hair looks, but another magazine could have voted the same style worse hair. Mm-hmm. And it's a juggle. You have no idea how it's going to turn out, but you're not responsible for other people's opinions. You do the best you can to create a cohesive look. And there is a large team behind the scenes that is larger than the hair, makeup, and wardrobe. It was probably 15 of us in that room.
Wow, that's amazing though. I mean, it's so interesting to think that it's that big and it's that wide for the scope of who's working on this look. And then you imagine all of the people that went in. So you were just with, one person. I mean, every person that's going has that many people. So it is really cool to think of like how much comes out that night. But I think it's incredible that you did that. And I'm so happy. I was watching your stories because again, we're new friends. So I was watching your stuff and I was like, yes, I was so excited for you. I think that's awesome. And I'm excited for you sharing that. One of the questions, so I had my students at the beauty school write some questions. And one of the main things that they asked is, and I think you're going to like this, but it's how do you keep your cool? How do you not fangirl over celebrities? Like, are there ever moments where you're like, okay, I need to pull it together, just act cool. And then are you different when you're doing that?
Oh, Bobbi, the stories I could tell you. Stories. Okay, this was recently asked to me the other day because you have the fan girl, the ones that you think are really cool that you would fan out. But then you have, if I'm honest, the ones like the ones you've kind of like been idolizing in that way,
mm-hmm.
that you work with. For example, when I worked with Usher, oh my God, I didn't think I would be able to make it through. But when I got to that door, that hotel room door where I groomed him, I got it all together and I was like, I am grooming Usher. He said nothing. And at the end, he complimented my work and he told his people he really liked me. He wanted to work with me the next day. When that door closed and I was like 5 feet away, it was full on anxiety attack. Like, oh my God, this happened. And, like just last week, he came up in conversation and the people were like saying how much they loved him, how they could not imagine being in the same room. Somebody's like, Monae, didn't you work with him? And I was like, yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't even think about that. If I'm fanning out over him, I'm like, oh my God, he's amazing. I want to go to the show. And they said, well, didn't you work with him? I was like, yeah, but that was work. This is different because I can't go to anyone and be like, oh my God, I can't believe you're here. And, I would never work again. And if you are in that state, you can't concentrate on what you do and you make really silly mistakes like, spilling, because I do grooming as well and I do some makeup. If you spill makeup on their outfit, it's done. There is no, oh, let's just wipe it up. If you are not paying attention and you combine the wrong products on the hair and now it needs to be shampooed and there's no time, trust me, the way the whole room flips on you, there's no more fangirling. So, you gotta really pay attention. People are not mean, but if they have orchestrated a full look and because you're not paying attention, you have ruined the look, they won't be happy. So you gotta pay attention. Everybody has to be on their P's and Q's and doing their part of the job. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess when you're already so set on it and once you have like a little bit of experience of being on set and how that all works, I think that, and I know I want to get into the classes you're teaching and stuff, but that etiquette of like on set, having all of that is so helpful because it is a learning process, right? And it is something that is changing from place to place that you go. So being able to just be professional wherever you show up, I'm sure helps you to not get too excited or, afterwards, like you letting the hit you and be like, oh my gosh, I did that. That was crazy. But in that moment, just being professional. So, I know you have classes that you're teaching. So, you mentioned that you got to teach your solo classes at America's Beauty Show and you will be teaching at Premiere in Orlando. So tell me about these classes that you're teaching, and what people can expect from those classes.
Oh my gosh, I have 2 classes upcoming. Curls and Coils on the Runway is a hands-on class that you can join me for. And then I have Texture Transformations is a class, a look and learn class on Monday. So on Sunday, Curls and Coils on the Runway, you can join and we can do a hands-on workshop where you get to try out some of the unique styles that I create. And then Texture Transformation Techniques on Monday is a look and learn. And, it's really dope. I feel like I specialize in styling all hair textures. I always say a hairstylist can style all textures of hair. An enthusiast can only style a couple. So it's really important to me to be able to style all hair textures. But since there's such a gap in education teaching how to style curly and coily hair to photographic perfection, I tend to kind of get in that spot because there's all of these misunderstandings that you can't make really editorial curly hairstyles or you can't make red carpet hairstyles. And that is just not the truth. So I enjoy making show-stopping styles that when they walk through the convention center, everybody goes crazy. Or when my clients walk down the red carpet, and their natural hair texture is showing, they get all of the oohs and all of the ahs. I love sending the political statement that curly and coily hair is just as beautiful and elegant as every other hair texture.
Yes, that's amazing. I love that. And so at that time, at the look and learn, and people are interacting with you. I think that's one of the things that I think I'm really trying to spread the word about is at these beauty shows, it's not like you're, off limits or whatever. I saw you talking to so many people, and people coming up to you and talking to you and you are so available as shy as somebody might be. And not everyone's like this in the industry for sure, but there's more kindness than not. And I think people are way more like people like you that, you have a bunch of followers and you're doing crazy things. And so for somebody just coming into the industry, they might be like, oh, I'm scared. I don't want to go say hi. But I think that even in talking to you for a couple of minutes, like there's something that you're going to take away from that. And I think it's really important that they get to know that they're going to see you and have class with you, and it's going to be like really close. It's not something that you're distant from. So I think that that's awesome. And those classes seem amazing. Like I'm really excited for those classes.
They are amazing. If you see me, hold on, we got to stop. If you see me, you have to come up. You have to say hi. I am super introverted, so please come see me. Come say hi. Ask to take the photo. Don't leave without taking it, because you're going to come up and I'm going to be like, I don't know. Hi. So say hi. We can be introverted and shy together, and let's get the photo taken, because it's always funny. People DM me later and they say, I saw you. I waved. You waved back, but I was scared to walk over. If I wave, come on over.
Yes. And you are the sweetest. Like people are going to be just so drawn to you naturally. But I think like once you start interacting, you're even so sweet and kind that like I just think it's even easier to open up with you and to actually ask those questions. I think it'd be great if people are like, okay, if I get to meet her, like this is the question I'm going to ask, to kind of have that ready. So I think that's great. And I know your classes are going to be packed. So I think it's really exciting and I can't wait to hear how all of that goes. I want to talk about maybe something that I don't know a ton about. So I'm excited to kind of hear this like a little bit firsthand, but I want to know kind of your backstory of how you came into the beauty industry and what the beauty industry like looked like at the time of you coming into it. So when did you go to beauty school?
Well, Bobbi, I'm old. So
So am I.
I went to beauty school while I was in high school, my senior year of high school and my freshman year of college. You know, I had people in my family who worked at salons, but it was like only the stereotype was only the girls that kind of had to do other things because they wouldn't be going to college. And I just always loved the idea of making people look and feel beautiful. We didn't have all of these red carpet commentators. We didn't have all of these best hair countdowns and stuff. So I just had so many opinions, and people were like, if you can't do better, you shouldn't have an opinion. I was like, I really think with some training, I really do think I would be able to do great. And I thought I would only do hair and makeup to pay my way through college because I had to pay my way through college. But my senior year in college, I learned that the beauty industry is such this huge world. I didn't know about celebrity styling and photo shoots and beauty marketing and trade shows and events and so many different things that you can do. So I literally remember where I was standing when I found out about styling hair for photo shoots. I really thought that if you saw a lady on the cover of the magazine, that meant that she went to the salon the night before, she got her hair done, and then she, put on her lipstick and took the picture. No concept that it was an entire industry behind it.
And where was this at? Where did you grow up, or where did you go to beauty school?
So I was born in New York because I got a rep for Brooklyn all day, but I grew up in the DC area. DMV, stand up.
Yes.
I don't know if you're familiar with the DMV, but your viewers from the DMV. Like,
yes.
DMV stand up. So that was in the DC area in Northern Virginia, right outside of DC. I mean, I thought DC was a big city at the time. The things that I've learned since then.
Yeah.
And I started my career in that area. I was there for probably about 10 years.
Wow. So when you you had completed beauty school, what were you majoring in college?
So mass media and criticism, which is basically TV, journalism, radio. And my minor was sociology, so the study of groups.
So when did you say, did you finish that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So you graduated.
Yeah. I had my mama those degrees and went on about my business.
Well, congratulations on that. I made it 3 years and realized it was me being a high school English teacher was not going to work out. So, and I'm happy it did. But, I was I was going to change the world and all of that. It's a whole long thing, but I ended up feeling I found it here. I found it in the beauty industry, but
changing the world. You have
I'm
your own
trying.
show, you have your own school. It doesn't have to be the way we sought it out to be.
Right.
We are changing world. And let me tell you, they don't let me forget that in their opinion, I don't use those degrees. So, it's
I
one.
bet you're reminded a lot.
Yeah. Yes. And so whenever like I get interviewed and stuff like this, they're like, "Oh, great. Did you like it?"
Yeah.
Thinking about,
You're like, that's what I learned.
like,
I
no.
love that. So you were there and just decided, like, what was your first step into it? Did you work in a salon or were you straight into like, okay, so tell me a little bit about how you started.
There were, I'm sorry if I'm jumping it around because there were
No.
no straight shots. Let me tell you that. So like I said, I was in cosmetology school my freshman year. So my freshman year in college, I went to school full time. I went to cosmetology full time. I worked in the salon part time.
Wow.
Sophomore through senior year, still in school full time. I worked in the salon almost full time, and I most of the time interned at radio stations and stuff. So it was always full on jobs, full on working all the time. So when I think about college, I feel like I really missed out on so many great things. Like I'm seeing like all of these spring break trips and stuff. And I'm like, oh, this is what you guys were doing. I guess if you don't have to work full time, you get to do it. But, everybody doesn't have college fully paid off, which is why I'm such a big advocate of trades. Trades let you help have the life that you want to have. So I was blessed to be able to do both.
Yeah, we've talked about this a lot recently. This idea of, I don't know if it's just like an age thing. When you get older, you start reflecting. But this is like with kids. It's a conversation my husband and I have, or I'm in the beauty school, and so I'm around a lot of students, and we talk about this of missing the college experience and how they feel like beauty school is full time. You're full time, and if you're working and doing beauty school, like you have no time, and your friends are at least going and they're like, oh, I can skip class. Well, if you do that in beauty school, like it takes you a day longer to graduate. Like there's so many differences. And that topic of feeling like you're missing out on that, I'm the same. I didn't do spring break. Like I was working, like which again, like I try to tell the students, I'm like, I wish that I could fast forward you to be like, I'm thankful for it. I can do trips now, and I can, take my time and have fun. Like I can do all of that now. And honestly, probably in a more fun way than I would have, you know what I mean? Like going back there and doing it then. But as long as you give yourself that time at some point in your life to do those things, I think, I don't know. Knowing what I know and knowing how hard you have to work to be successful. I feel like I'm happy that I had that experience. Like I think that I learned so much at that time that I was young of like, again, I do think it's like built in you. I think when you have to do it, it's different.
Yeah.
There is something inside of you when it's not just all handed to you. We can all admit that like we know people that it's handed to you and it goes one way or another. And so I'm thankful for that now because I'm like, I'm still I'm 36. I'm still going. I'm running 100 miles per hour. We're momming, wife, work, this. Like I feel like I got accustomed to the juggling act. Do you feel like that sometimes? Like, do you agree?
Absolutely. And everybody's journey is different. Who's to say which path is better? And, I hear you saying you're a wife and a mom. So, of course, you're going to keep juggling. I am not a wife or a mom. So, I'm definitely you want to go to Miami friend.
Yes. Well,
Tomorrow,
I just did that recently too.
yeah,
I believe like there's room for all things.
exactly. There's room for every part. So, the trips I didn't get to go on in college, I'm calling you like, what do you think about Saturday? We can just hit Vegas. It'll be fun. And, a lot of people who were hanging out, having fun back then, when I call now, they can't really hang out and do so much. So like, whomever you believe in is going to give you the life that is best for you. And it's best for you to do whatever you need to do to make it into the life that you want.
Yeah. Would you say that hard work, like that hard work ethic, knowing that the days are going to be hard, but you're going to push through and you're going to grind, do you think that is like number one most important thing for like the the professional hairstylist, but also doing more of the work that you're doing, the celebrity hairstylist and all that? Do you think that that's like number one most important skill that you need to have coming into it?
the biggest indicator of success for anyone in any career is going to be grit. That means the ability to push through, get through, and look back on it. If you give up because it's hard, and I mean sometimes it is really hard, you'll never get through it. But I've seen people give up because it was so easy. They felt like, oh, I'll be able to come back to this at any time, and maybe never get that opportunity to come back. Grit. Do the work, get it done, put it behind you. Whatever the reason is for you having to give up, I can guarantee will be much harder if you walk away and think that you can just come back to it later.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned earlier having a lot of different people giving opinions while you're on set.
Oh, yeah.
Mentally, that's really challenging. And I think especially, I mean, we all have, ego. To what level we have it is
Mhm.
different, but it is hard. Like, how do you have to just did you have to just learn to take it in? I mean, I know that at this point you're saying yeah, everyone's professional and that's, great. And you're taking everyone's, but in the beginning, did you have to be okay, just shut your mouth, don't say a word and scream when you leave? Or how did you handle those situations?
Oh, Bobbi, you're so sweet to say in the beginning. Um, in the beginning, it was much harder for me to hide it. Whenever I do an interview, I want to really answer the question and tell the truth. It was hard for me that day. It was
Mhm.
very hard. I have to curate their suggestions and I have to say, does their suggestion make sense? Am I stonewalling because I don't want to hear it? Is what they asked for really not possible? But I learned probably at least 10 years ago that at this level, 95% of things that are asked for can be done. Just because you don't think it can be done doesn't mean it cannot be done. Am I getting an attitude because they're not the hairstylist and they're over talking me, or are they truly trying to explain another way of doing things to me? And then I'm going to really tell you what I focus on at that moment. I know my triggers and I know when I can just start going on and on because I'm triggered. I have to literally say in my mind, all of these conversations are happening. Did they say, Monae, what is your opinion? If they did not say that, do not add anything. You're triggered, you're annoyed, you are wondering why everybody can pour on your job, but everybody doesn't pour in on everybody else's job. Whatever I say is probably going to have a little extra, angst to it, which is not going to be beneficial for me in the long run. So I am literally in that moment taking what's being said. What is it? Chew the meat, spit out the bones. And if they did not say, Monae, what is your opinion? Do not add to it. Okay? Let it go.
That is so strong of you. And I know that it's not easy to do that. And I mean being self-aware enough to
Yeah.
in that moment stop yourself. I think that um it's hard. It's hard not to when it's something that's so personal to you, especially when you're you could have easily been well, I'm sure this, you not getting sleep and all that stuff wasn't just at the Met Gala. I'm sure this happens to you a lot on jobs. So you could have easily been I was on a plane and and to have that control. But I recently have been really focusing and learning on not reacting when other people are reacting. So not getting up to their level, honestly, works in your favor most of the time because they want to elevate you and they want to get you worked up. And I'm sure that it's just, you have to be so professional because the next job relies on it, or you being referred to other people. So you can't lose your cool. Even if you wanted to, you can't because it's going to affect your position in the industry. So is that more, do you think that there's more of that doing what you're doing, or being and more than being behind the chair? Do you think that responsibility is more in your side of things?
Absolutely. So I worked in different types of salons. I worked in, because I no longer work in salons. I worked in really small salons with 5 chairs, 10 chairs. Then I worked in salons where it was a few different locations. And I'm saying this to say, the more people that work there, the more the possibility of advocating for yourself. And I went on to a corporate salon that had HR, and all of that is great. But when you work on set, there's under 20 people, generally under 5 people. There is no HR. There is no one to advocate to. You have to learn to work as a team, period. Even if you're 1,000% right and you are being mistreated or they are not treating you with the best respect, what are we going to do right now? Are you going to do this magazine shoot and get your credit? Are you going to walk off crying? Are you going to leave and say your feelings are more important than the rest? Are you going to leave your client in a lurch? Are you going to say, I don't care, I am stopping this shoot until I get what I want? Any choice that you make, there's another side to it. There's consequences. And I always say there is no HR, because who do you go to advocate? Most of the time, your reputation will precede you, and I believe people treat you based off of your reputation. If they come in and 2 people are arguing back and forth, they don't really know the details, especially if you're getting into intricacies like the makeup artist keeps asking you to stop so you can't do the hair. They don't know. They're going to say, well, I've worked with Monae, 10 times before. She's never caused a problem. Clearly something is going on. Let me hear her out, versus I see 2 people yelling. I don't know what's wrong. I don't know Monae. I only know the makeup artist. They tend to go with the person they know and the reputation they respect. So it's an ongoing thing, building up my rapport with people in relationships. And that's one thing I feel like I wasn't really taught going into this industry, understanding that networking and relationships are your job, and whatever you do is secondary to networking and relationships.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's so true. And I think that that's one of the things that like definitely comes with experience. But I think any skill, like if you are somebody that's like in beauty school and you're working right now, I think that like serving, waitressing, like those kinds of jobs where you're dealing with people, and getting those like those soft skills down, definitely is so important. And doing as much of that as you can before you start. I wanted to ask you, one of the things that we were talking about when I was talking with some of the students was when starting out, there's a debate, or there's sometimes they have an understanding of you're going to have to do some things for free. Sometimes it's worth it more for the credit than for the paycheck. So what is your opinion on that? What did it look like for you starting out, and how do you feel about it now?
So firstly, shout out to Bobbi's students for these great questions. Um, it's absolutely true. And, I just had a thought earlier today. Sometimes the money or the compensation you receive, it is not about your talent. Sometimes that's all people have to give. And if people don't have the compensation to give you, but they have this opportunity and they feel that you would do a great job on this opportunity, sometimes it's worth it. It's beneficial. It's creating a relationship, and then you have a credit so that next time you can get paid. It is very difficult as you progress in your career to know which opportunity to take and which one not to take. But the bottom line is, if you would do it for free and you want the opportunity, do it for free. Because I'm going to tell you, a lot of the payments are very low. So you're saying, no, you have to pay me for this magazine shoot. Most magazine shoots are paying $150 to $250. So I teach in my classes how to get paid more than that. There's other ways of getting paid. But if you're fighting over a magazine paying you, that's really what you're fighting over.
Wow.
You get what I'm saying? So what was the point in creating this huge hoopla over $150 or $250? And I say that with humility. I am quite aware there are many people that need that 150 or 250. So I'm saying, if you're not in a destitute place where that money won't make or break you, was it worth the fight?
Mm-hmm.
However, no one knows how much you got paid. And if it's a credit for a great magazine or a beautiful model that you wouldn't normally have access to, or a photographer that's not calling you all the time, and now you have a wonderful story of images in your portfolio. Y'all heard I underlined story of images, not just a great shot. That can increase your career trajectory, and that can move you along faster. But I can give you $150 and it not take you to where you want to be. Because if you turn down this great opportunity with a great magazine and photographer for this opportunity over here that gave you the $150 and it doesn't look like anything, how much did you benefit?
Yeah. And I know now with like, I think social media has changed things so much and content, right?
Yeah.
Like we're all talking about content all the time. And there's a lot of people reaching out for things and you're not always going to make the right decision. I think like sometimes getting burned is a really good lesson. And I'm, try to take that into mind. Obviously things aren't always going to go your way, but you make a mistake. Okay, cool. Not going to do that again. You do have to learn, some of those things. I have one more question for you. I want to ask you, just because I know there's so many people that are looking up to you and just like listing your accolades, a lot of people would say, that's what I want. That's where I want to be. Do you or have you taken a moment yet to say in your career, was there a moment where you can remember saying, I made it? This is exactly what I've always wanted to do. And I'm here, or are you still just like on your way up? You're still climbing. How do you feel in this moment?
I'm definitely still climbing. Definitely still climbing. But I will say I had gone through things, ups and downs in this career, higher than I ever dreamed possible and lower than I ever dreamed possible. And there were multiple times where I wanted to quit. There were multiple times where I said, Lord, like I moved to New York. It's supposed to be better and it's not better. And it was put on my heart a couple of times to write a book, but I always said, well, God, I'm doing better now and I don't have the time. And God put us on punishment. And in New York, we didn't leave the house for almost 2 years. We couldn't go anywhere. We couldn't even go to McDonald's for almost 2 years. So I wrote my second book, Get Out of Your Own Way, to help others who want to get celebrity and high-end clients. So I will say I was moved through and, God spoke to me through a friend of mine who was like, oh, you just want to write another book? Oh, I can help you with that. And did an amazing job because my
Wow.
first book that I wrote, which I felt good about, but it had a publisher. My first book that I wrote, it was a weird feeling. It didn't go the way I thought it was going to. So the second time self-published, I just had every excuse for why I couldn't do it and why nobody wanted to hear from me and why I didn't have enough to offer. But just out of the blue, I would get so many emails and so many DMs and so many messages. And I was like, they want me to write about this career. And I was able to put it in words and, make a book about it. So I don't know. I guess at that point is when I felt like I have something to give. But even after putting out that book to help other people, I found out there's way more I could do. There's way more in this beauty industry. And, there are people that I look up to. And it's like every time I think I'm plugging along and I see the opportunities or, I like to focus on diversity, equity, and inclusion and closing that gap. It's not that I came out and I chased all of these things because I needed them for me, but I tried to be the person that I needed to see, you know?
Mm-hmm. I love that. I think that's so awesome. I think that I think that for some reason, a lot of the last couple of years, a lot of the people that I've met, maybe I'm drawn to it right now, but I just really feel like there are so many people that want to help others learn about this
Yeah.
and want to make the industry better. They just really, really have a passion for being like, here's what I learned. I've done this. I've messed up here. I succeeded
Yeah.
here. And now I want to share it. I think that's what this path is all about. I think that that's truly what's going to make a difference, and your legacy and like what leaves a mark in this life is sharing that knowledge. And I know you have so much to share. So the fact that people have you to be so open about all of this and honest, I really hope a lot of people see this and get to meet you at the shows and get to be with you in person, because I think your classes are really going to change lives. Is there you said that you've got your classes you're teaching right now, but you have your own academy also, right?
I do the Monae Life Academy where I do a lot of business teaching and some hairstyling teaching, and all of those classes are instantly available at the MonaeLifeAcademy.com. But my biggest academy is Celeb Gigs Academy, and that's for the artist who is like, I've put in this work. I really want to work with celebrity and high-end clients. I want to be getting paid $1,500 a day as an average, so on and so forth. And I need to learn the etiquette and the marketing. I'm ready to really step my career up. I'll be teaching that this summer. I have all of these free courses to help you prepare for it that you can sign up for at celebgigs.com. So I know this is recorded, but tonight I'm teaching a class, celebgigs.com. I teach it every few weeks or so, twice a year. So we're right in that flow, and that's for people who want to know more about me. They want to know more about how to get high-end and celebrity clients, and they want to know, is this something that they can do? And a lot of people are really nervous to put themselves out there because maybe they've been working for a long time, or maybe they're brand new, or maybe they live in a small city, you know, all of those different things. And they have not had someone to hold their hand and help them take those next steps. But I'm here to help.
I'm so thankful for you and thankful for everybody that gets this time with you and gets this knowledge. I can't imagine anybody better to talk about it, and just with pure like kindness, and you just, I don't know, just have this way about you. And I'm so thankful that I got this time to talk to you, and thankful that I got to meet you at ABS. So if you have not followed Monae yet, go follow her. We'll put the links to what you have coming up in the bio too, or in the section down below, so people can know where to find you. But I'm so thankful for you, and I hope that I will get to see you soon, and maybe we can get you out to the school, because I know the students would just like die to hear about all the things that you've done, and crazy stories, crazy memories. So I'm really thankful for you.
Thank you. I would love that, Bobbi. I love going to speak at schools. I love going to speak at cosmetology schools, universities. I even have some corporate clients. So this is my thing.
You're just doing it all. I love it.
There's so much more in this life, and when I die, on my tombstone, that dash is going to be full.
That is an amazing way to live life. Well, thank you so much, Monae, and we will talk soon.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.